Hello, welcome to Sri Lanka Cricket. Yeah, here for a briefing, virtual media briefing with our head coach, Mickey Arthur, who is already in South Africa with the team. And all the journalists from Sri Lanka as well as South Africa, welcome to this press conference. The format of this press conference will be a Q&A session. Basically, you will have to raise your hand in order to ask your question. And I will take based on the first in, first out system. And please keep your questions short because we'll be looking at a time space of just 20 minutes. And Mickey will answer once I once you raise the question. And the one who wants to ask the questions, you can basically raise your hands. That's the way I will be taking in questions. Assam Mamin, you can ask a question.
Mickey, how's the preparation? I think the first practice session was today. How's the situation? Preparations.
Yeah, hi, Azam. Yeah, very good. Boys were outstanding today. The guys only arrived 2 days ago, very early in the morning, so we've had a recovery day yesterday, but we were out at the nets today. We're training at the moment in groups of 7. So we had 1 guy's doing fielding, 1 guy's in the gym, and 7 in the nets, and we just rotated them around. But I was very, very impressed with the quality, very impressed with the standards, and very impressed with the attitudes that the guys brought to their session today.
Fedros, you can ask the question. Fedros Munda.
Hi, Mickey. I'm just wondering from a conditions perspective, the South African way would probably be to have pitches that are quite green and seamer friendly, and obviously you've brought a good strong pace attack. Do you think that if the conditions are very seamer friendly, that your batting might be a little bit stronger and that might work to your advantage?
Yeah, for those, with our squad, we've covered all bases. We've got 21 guys here. It would have been 22 if Angelo was fit. Because we're in the bubble here and we go straight back to Sri Lanka to play 2 tests against England and Gaul. So we've had to cover the base with every possible option. I'm very comfortable. We've got a very good bowling attack here, seam bowling attack. We've got a good spin attack, and I'm comfortable that our top 6 batters will be able to handle any conditions that they get. That we've been trying to prepare them in Sri Lanka in conditions that kind of replicate South Africa. We went to, just before the LPL, we took them all to a camp in Kandy, which is as bouncy as you can get in Sri Lanka. And we asked for wickets with grass on. So we've kind of prepared the squad as best we can for the conditions that I think we're going to get here. So, but we've got a squad, as I said, that's capable of any condition because we've just had to.
Martin, you can ask the questions.
Mickey, what's the situation of Oshada Fernando's injury? And if he's not fit to play the first test match, do we have any alternatives?
Yes, Oshada won't be fit to play the first test match. He's on a program at the moment with our physio and fitness trainer. As I say, he won't be fit for test 1. And we have numerous options to cover that. And we've got a couple of options that I'm quite excited about.
Boland, you can ask the question. Please raise your question, please. Boland, Ken Boland.
Hi, Mickey. Thank you. Hi, Mickey. Welcome back.
Thanks, Ken.
You were obviously here in South Africa a couple of seasons ago with Pakistan for a test series. What did you learn from that test series that you can take forward into this one?
Oh, I think the thing we learned there was the conditions are going to be totally different. I think for the Sri Lankan side that just followed us as a Pakistan side into South Africa in that year. They played down at the coast. They played in PE and Port Elizabeth in that test series. And we as Pakistan, when I was coaching Pakistan, played we had a test at Centurion, we had a test at the Wanderers, and the conditions there. And I certainly don't want to bring up old scars, but I did have a whinge and a moan about the pitches at that point in time. But I'm pretty sure the pitches are are good. I had a look at the one in Centurion today. It looks very typical Centurion. So I'm comfortable that that we'll be equipped to play on them. And I do think the pitches will be good South African pitches, because Centurion and the Wanderers have got a certain condition, and I don't think you're gonna ever change that. We just want the best that condition can possibly be, and I'm pretty sure the pitches will be, however, probably a little bit seamer friendly, but that's okay. And just as long as they're the best of what they could possibly be.
Sadi Taufik, you can ask the question. Sadi, you can ask. Sadi, can you hear me?
Mickey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I got you, Sadi.
Yeah. This you are from you are South African. You are close to South African team, and now you are with Sri Lanka. I mean, what can you sort of bring to the plate for Sri Lanka to be successful in South Africa with your experience?
Well, hopefully with my experience, I do kind of know conditions. Although, you know, I finished coaching South Africa in 2010, so that was a long time ago. But I do. There's a familiarity for me walking into the grounds. You know, going into Centurion today was lovely. You know, it kind of, as I say, Africa never leaves you. So it was kind of almost coming back. I felt comfortable in the environment again, but I do know the conditions. You know, I know. I kind of know the psyche of South Africa. I kind of know how they'll attack us. And their head coach and Mark Boucher and myself go back a hell of a long way. So I'm really looking forward to locking horns with him. And you know, Boucher's an aggressive coach. He was always an aggressive player. I'm sure he's an aggressive coach. And I think South Africa are going to play good, hard, aggressive cricket, and it's going to be up to us to match it.
Bipin Dari, it's your turn. Bipin Dari, it's your turn. You are going for Ken Boland. Okay.
Can I talk?
Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, Mr. Mickey Arthur, now here in South Africa, there will be the home umpires for the series against Sri Lanka. Do you favor, would you thought that the neutral umpires could have also be there on the South Africa, like how the team is also coming to South Africa? So neutral umpires and neutral referee would have been more useful for the series?
No, I know the umpires that are umpiring this series. I know them particularly well. They're very good umpires. And I'm comfortable I'm comfortable with, you know, the umpires, just like players, are judged on performance all the time. And I'm comfortable that both umpires umpiring in this test match are very good. And I'm comfortable that they umpire this test match. I think it's fine. And I certainly don't think any umpire around the world, whether he's South African, Australian, or whatever, is gonna umpire in any way that favors the home team. I think they're going to go out and do the best job that they possibly can. So I've got no issue with local umpires at all.
Ken Boland, you can ask. Ken,
Mickey, you mentioned the pitches maybe being a bit bowler friendly. Do you feel though that there's a chance of that backfiring on South Africa, because their batting order has had some well-documented problems of late?
Yeah. Well, look, Ken, it's what I do know is that we've got our bases covered in all departments. I do know that our seam attack is particularly good. We got two guys that crank it up at 150. Kumara and Chamira are very quick. Whether we play them together, time will tell. Saranga Lakmal is the leader of our bowling attack. He is very skilled in all conditions. And then we've got, you know, we've got pace, we've got left arm seam, we've got Kasan Rajita, who's come on beautifully, tall but gets bounced. Vishwa Fernando swings it as a left armer. So we've covered all bases, and it'll be up to us to determine which attack we think is going to be the best on any given day. But I do know that we've got pace, we've got swing, we've got seam. Our attack covers all bases.
Sadi Taufik, you can ask. Sadi?
Yes. Mickey, Quinton de Kock is the new captain of South Africa, and you might be probably knowing him quite well. And the reason today, I think he had a press conference, and he said that South Africa wants to change their ways of approaching a test match, and they want to play clever, streetwise, and aggressive cricket. How do you sort of look at it from that point of view?
No, Sadi, I know that's how Quinton de Kock, who's a wonderful player, I know that's how he plays his cricket, and I certainly know that's how their coach Mark Boucher always played his cricket. So I'm pretty sure that's a style that they want to bring South Africa. So I think they're going to be a very dangerous team for sure.
Stuart Hess, you can ask. Stuart, it's your turn.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, got you, Stuart.
Hi, Mickey. South Africa have kind of struggled with their test match play the last couple of years. 1 win in 9 in the last 9 games. They've lost their last 4 tests to Sri Lanka, including that home series last year. Coming in, and you've spoken about how well your team is going, or how well they've looked. Do you feel that they're actually favourites?
I know. Look, you never. Like, I'm comfortable, Stuart. I think South Africa are going to. South Africa will be a very, very good cricket team. There's no doubt about that. I know they'll be very well prepared. I think they'll be very well coached. I think they'll be very well led. So by no means do I think that we're going in favourites. What I do know is that we've got all bases covered. I do know we're playing some good cricket. I do know we've got some very good players. So I think it's going to really be a cracker of a test series. I really do.
Fergus Munda, you can ask your question. Fergus Munda.
Have you got me?
Yes, can hear.
I've got you.
Mickey, you've just been at the Lanka Premier League, and obviously these T20 leagues are cropping up everywhere. Can you tell us what made this different, what you think worked, and kind of if the model can be replicated? Just what were your impressions of another T20 league?
Oh, look, I think for those, I think every country is gonna have one. I think that's inevitable. I thought that the Lanka Premier League went really well. Considering the time that they had to set it all up, I thought it was a good competition. It was nice for me being up there because it showcased all the best talent in Sri Lanka. Obviously, it wasn't ideal preparation for us coming into a test series. The only thing I really enjoyed was the guys were playing good, hard, competitive cricket, and you can't replicate that in a training session, albeit in a totally different format. But I do think the league was very good, and I do think there will be a place for it in our calendar in the future. I do know that most international teams 2021 is going to be particularly busy. I know ours certainly is with the rescheduling of a lot of series. So how you fit it in is going to be interesting. But I do think it was really good, and just talking to our players. I do know they really enjoyed the experience. So I think it went really well for those, to be honest.
Damika Ratnavir, you can raise your question. It's your turn.
Mickey, after the LPL, Sri Lankan team goes straight to the test match because of their one and only practice game yesterday also postponed. How do you feel about they have to play test cricket? Do you think this limited period is enough for the preparation for the test?
No. Look, obviously, I would have liked as a head coach, I would have liked a lot more time. What we have done is the Sri Lankan Cricket Board during our lockdowns and during this year, we've been pretty proactive, and the Sri Lankan Cricket Board's been really very supportive of us. We've had 3 residential camps where all our players have been involved. So, and I know camps don't replicate games, but we try to have some inter-squad games and we try to keep our players as sharp as they could possibly be. And then them coming out of a 2020 straight into a test series is not ideal preparation. But as I said to Firdaus, the thing that I did really like about it was our guys were playing competitive cricket, and that's something you can't replicate. And then you take it back to tours. tours of the past. I say that, I mean, those tours seemed a hell of a long time ago. But, you know, you did that on tours. You played the international 2020s. They finished. You went into the test series. You went straight into a one-day series. And I think the international players of these days are good enough to shift focus, change their game plans, and get themselves ready in a week. But again, not ideal for us, but judging by the attitude the guys had today on the training ground, it was phenomenal. I come back today from training a very happy coach, because what I saw down at training today was very good.
Percival Young, you can ask your question, please.
Mr. Program Director, I was going to check with you if it's possible for Mickey to answer an Afrikaans question, if possible. Just to summarize one answer in Afrikaans, if possible.
Can you repeat, please?
Can I just confirm if Mickey can possibly answer an Afrikaans question?
Yeah, that's fine. If you bear with me, my Afrikaans, I haven't spoken it for 10 years.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Mickey, just briefly in Afrikaans, just your expectations of this tour, and like one of my colleagues asked, you're thinking of Quinton de Kock as the captain. Do you think South Africa is ready for as a national side who hasn't played any test cricket recently?
Yeah, and would you like me to answer in Afrikaans?
Assebaie, believe Mickey.
Okay, so ek dink Quinton de Kock's 'n baie goeie cricketer. Ek dink hy's 'n kaptein wat lei van die he leads from the front, Quinton de Kock. So I think hy sal baie aggressive cricket speel. Hy sal altyd so my Afrikaans is not that good yet. He'll always lead from the front, Quinton de Kock. So I think he's really good, and I think it's a really good appointment for South African cricket. Our expectation as Sri Lanka is just to keep getting better and better. We've started a process, we've started a project, and I just want us to maintain that. And very much for me as head coach, the focus is on our team instead of focusing on the opposition, because we've got a young team. We're trying to get them playing the best possible cricket they can possibly play. We're trying to get ourselves up the ladder. And my coaching staff are trying to make them the best they could possibly be as cricketers. So the focus for us is very much at the moment on our team. But South Africa are a very good cricket team, and I do think Quinton de Kock will lead them very well from the front.
Revata, you can ask your question. Revata? Revata, can you hear me? Shall you go into Assam, Mamin? Assam, you can ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Revati. Yes. Yes, Revati.
Sorry. Mickey, you moved from one biosecure bubble to another in South Africa right after in a couple of days. So how are the boys acclimatizing to the new bubble, and how do you feel about the COVID situation and their ways of encountering the situation there in South Africa?
Look, what I can say is we're very well taken care of. The bubble here is very good. It's as good a bubble as I think as you could possibly have. Myself and the doctor came early to make sure all the arrangements were in place. We're very comfortable at the moment that the arrangements here are very good. And you know, as I say, it's the new normal. But we're being very well looked after. Security around us is particularly tight. We get tested every third day. So you know, it's different. Cricket touring is certainly different, but we're very comfortable and very happy with the arrangements that Cricket South Africa have put in place at the moment.
We can have 3 more questions asked from Mickey. Mickey, Azam, you would like to ask one out of them? Assam?
Prasanna, can I have Altaf here?
Just want to know about who's not playing. Do I have anyone in the mind to replace him, in the middle order?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, Altaf.
Angelo Matthews is not playing, so you have anyone in the mind to replace him in the middle order?
Yeah, look, if we look at the side that played our last Test match, and that was against Zimbabwe in March, we've lost obviously a shot of Fernando, who's not going to be fit for this first Test match, and we've obviously lost Angelo. I do have a top six in mind. Whether we played the aggressive route and played 5 bowlers with the 5 batsmen and a wicketkeeper, that's an option we have. The other option is to play the 6 batsmen or the 6 batsmen of 1 that gives us a little bit of a seam bowling option, a keeper at 7, and then the 3 quicks and a spinner. So we do have options, and that will all it's all in the melting pot, and we'll make a decision on that in the next day or 2.
Are we looking at Mickey, I am Altaf here.
Yes, Altaf.
Yeah, Mickey, I was told that we will be having the centre wicket practices by only on the 23rd. Now we are just after LPL limited over game. The players are conducive mentally prepared for the limited over. How difficult will it be to get into rhythm within 3 days? Do you think sufficient time to practice with the centre wicket?
I kind of covered this earlier, but I think that it's not ideal. As I've said this night, we trained today. We were on the ground and we were in the nets today, so it was a normal training day for us today. Albeit in groups of 7, but I've split those groups of 7 very evenly. We only train as a full squad together on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. But I know
is it sufficient enough? Is it sufficient enough for 3 days? Is sufficient enough to play a team like South Africa on conducive pace wicket? Do you think sufficient?
Look, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but we'll use this preparation as best we possibly can. I've said that obviously with the LPL, we went to Palekele for a month before, for 2 weeks before the LPL started. The one thing the LPL did was it allowed players to play competitive cricket, which is always a good thing. And then we've trained well. We've trained well today. We'll train well tomorrow. My thought process is then to almost have our squad, our team in place by the end of practice tomorrow, and then train the 23rd and 24th with the 11 that are going to play and really put time into them. And then the 25th will be an optional session, and we'll go into the Test match. Not ideal, but we as a staff are making the best we possibly can of it.
Yeah. Did you see the wicket? Is it a green top?
There's a lot of grass on it at the moment, but it's still too far out, I think, to make any proper judgments on it. But I know Centurion, there'll be grass. It'll start slow. It'll quicken up, and there'll be some uneven bounce towards the back end of the Test match. So it's kind of one of these grounds where you win the toss and you look at it and you think, oh, should we have a bowl? But you kind of always bat first, because the 3rd and 4th innings becomes really, really tough to bat because of the uneven bounce.
Sadi, last question you can ask. Very last. Sadi, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Again, can you, Mickey?
Yes. Got you, Sadi.
Yeah.
I've got you.
Mickey. This, how important is South African series looking ahead of the England series, because we are going straight from the South African series into the England series. So how important is this particular one?
Look, sorry, every series for us is extremely important, because where we are in the process with this team, we want to just keep getting better and better, and we want to create some consistency around selections, some consistency around roles. So every series is very, very important for us. What the England series is obviously a home series in our home conditions, where our strategies and game plans will be a lot different to our strategies and game plans in South Africa. The one thing that I do know, which is really important, is if you play well, and you get some wins along the line, irrespective of conditions, you take confidence, and confidence and belief is very powerful within a playing group. So if we can take that confidence and belief into the England series, it'll be amazing for us. But this South African series for us is massive. The last time Sri Lanka was here, they won. In that series, South Africa became the first Asian team ever to win a Test series in South Africa, and we would love to be able to replicate that.
Mickey, we'll take another one question. After that, we'll wrap up the media conference.
That's fine, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, thanks, Mickey. Craig Fidu, you can ask the question. Are you there?
Mickey, what do you think about Wanindu Hasaranga? Is he ready for the longer format, and will you planning to use him in this series?
He's a wonderful cricketer, isn't he? He's just. I think he's just a good cricketer. I think whether he's playing white ball cricket, whether he's playing red ball cricket, I think he's very good, and I just think he's going to get better and better and better. So he's a wonderful cricketer. Yes, of course, he's in the thought process. We'll have a look at how the wicket plays over the next couple of days, and then make a decision on him. But he's going to play a lot of Test cricket for South Africa. Whether he makes his debut in this Test match, I'm not sure. He's going to play a lot of cricket for Sri Lanka, though, because he's a wonderful, wonderful player.
Thank you very much, Mickey, for your time. And also with that, we are going to wrap up this virtual media conference. And since it was the very first virtual conference that we had on this tour, there were a lot of journalists coming in. And thanks for both from Sri Lanka as well as India, and also from South Africa journalists. And we wrap up the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys and girls. Take care.
All the best, Mickey.